So I'm going to spend a little time with you today on the 4 disciplines of real estate, really. We're going to cover those, but they're kind of internal. Really what you want to do is take a few ideas to go out there and sell some more homes, right? I mean, that's really what the bottom line is. Everybody I talk to wants to know that. I am a different kind of speaker because I actually do what you do. I sell real estate, I run a company. I've run 2 of the largest companies in Denver, and I sold it about 2 years ago. We had about 500 agents and 8 offices and did billions and billions, and it was fun, but you know, it was time to do something else. And so I get where you are every day. I mean, I get the call from the seller who's mad why the home hasn't sold. In fact, I have a seller right now at $1 million. He lives over in St. Petersburg. He calls me every other, he's 85 years old. Every other day, how come my home isn't sold? Well, Bob, because your home's overpriced. And I've told him that for 6 months. So I get what you do. And I'm going to try to give you ideas on how to overcome some of those things. I'm going to shut this front light off if you don't mind. Just don't want to turn them all off. We don't want anyone sleeping. There we go. That'll work. So let's talk about how to accelerate some of these sales and what we're going to do. There's the 4 things in lead generation: listing systems, buyer programs, and negotiating skills. If you figure out those 4 things, that's all real estate is about. And the problem is, what you may have done, some of you are very experienced, what you may have done in some of these areas may have worked in, let's say, 2002, but not necessarily in 2013. Because we've had a shift in how consumers expect us to respond to them. Obviously, the exposure of properties online has so exploded that most consumers may not necessarily feel they need you. And as the market improves, the scary part about it is sellers may feel they don't need you. Because what's happened to your inventory just in 12 months?
Yeah.
How much?
Half.
50%.
So in half. So as inventory goes down, what do prices do?
Up.
They go up. So is that unique to real estate, or is that just unique to economy in general? Inventory drops or supply drops, prices go up. So consumers are affected by their own businesses, and they go, what do I need these guys for? So you need to look at how you improve your skills in each one of these 4 areas. So a lead generation system is something that can be understandable and gives results. And that's really all you want. If you want to earn X number of dollars a year, and I'm just going to use $100,000, you can say that's more money than I need or less money than I need, but I'm just using that as my barometer because I can divide it into $100,000 easy, right? So when you want to say, I want to be able to have $100,000 of income, and your average commission is $5,000, you need 20 deals. There's no mistake in that. But to get 20 deals in your marketplace, you may need 200 leads, right? So you have to have a lead generation system that just keeps coming, just keeps working while you're working or not. If you're at the beach or you're playing golf or you're doing something else, it needs to be able to work. And most real estate agents, their lead generation system stops when they're doing other things like, I'm listing a home, or I'm working with buyers and I'm out in a car for 6 hours driving buyers around. The other systems stop. Well, it's not giving you predictable results then. You don't have a system. What you have is a hope. And so you don't want to just hope that you have leads. You want to have a system of leads. And if I could show you what this is worth, this today will be something that will change your real estate career. And why the agents that have worked for me for 25 years work for me is because their production goes up as a result of a system. It's really that simple. None of us are any smarter than anybody else. But if I know the system and you don't, then I'm going to have an edge. Fair? Okay. So the first part of the system of lead generation is to stop selling. In the 80s, it was really canned to have all these cliches, you know, and we used to, I don't know if you call it floor time or opportunity time or uptime or whatever you called that thing, where people called into your office and we used to play ping pong with the caller. And ping pong was, hey, I want to know about 123 Main Street. Really? What do you want to know? You never gave them an answer. You just kept playing ping pong with them until you got an appointment. That technique frustrates people today. You hate it. If you were to go buy a piece of clothing in a clothing store, and the person comes up and says, how do I help you today? What do you say?
I'm okay.
All right, good.
I'm looking. I'm okay. What do you want that salesperson to do? You want them to
Go away.
go away. Well, what do you think they want you to do in real estate? Hug them? That isn't happening. So you got to stop selling. You got to stop selling. That's the first part of your lead generation system, is quit selling. But you have to be able to have something about the consumer that helps them become more understanding of where you are. And you have to have really, really good skills. Because what will happen to your market over the next 24 months? And those of you, how many of you sold real estate here, say, greater than 15 years? A couple people, okay? What will happen is that as the market improves, what do you think the aging population does? It grows. So the competition grows with it. So if you don't have really great skills, then the consumer can't differentiate you from the person who just started tomorrow. That makes sense. So if I'm building my lead generation system, I better have better skills, I better have better information to get to people, and I better have a way of delivering that they want. Okay? So, that's my guy next door. He's been selling. He's not attracted anybody over here, is he? Okay? Because one of the things about selling is that people get turned off. So you have to have what's called an attraction system. How do people get attracted to you? If I said to you today, I've got a stock that's selling at 5 cents a share, and I know it's going to be 30 cents a share, how many of you want it? Yeah, I mean, you'll put down 10 bucks, right? But you all want it, don't you? Only if you believe it. So I could just be, you know, snake oil, right? So you have to be able to start having it. So the first thing in lead generation is you've got to have a connection. So that's how people trust you. If we don't have a connection with each other, it doesn't work. So what are the 4 things we connect with people? You know? What's the first thing we almost always talk about in our lives? Talk about yourself and family. You're part of that, right? So family is almost the first thing that you talk about always. Kids, how many of you have kids? Yeah? Can we talk about kids all day long? Can we talk about the stupid things they do? How many of you have teenagers? I have an 18-year-old. Let me just tell you right now. That is a life experience every hour. Okay? Connection. What's the second part of connections? What do we operate? What do you say to people about how's your job? Right? So we have this connection with people on family or jobs or occupations. What's the third thing that we talk about with people? Sports?
Dogs.
Absolutely.
Dogs.
What about this race? Huh?
It's like universal.
Kind of recreation. Sports are recreation, right? Do we all play the same sports? No. Some of us go jogging, some play golf, some go to the speedway, right? I went there yesterday. I gotta do this. I said, Jennifer yesterday, God, this thing is so neat. I mean, she went up and bought it. She goes, "You really want one of those?" I said, "I'm using it tomorrow." I said, "Your people will just love me for this." So I can't wait to get home. I'm going to use this in every sales meeting now. Moving forward my entire life, they're going to know me as the duck guy.
That's the Duck Dynasty trailer out of
Okay? So, connection. It's just recreation, what we do for fun. Okay? And then the fourth thing is about dreams. People will only talk to you about their dreams and connect with you if they really trust you. They're not going to share their visions if they don't trust you. Alright, so if you know you get to that fourth one, tell me about what your life looks like in 5 years, for example. If you get answers for that, you have just found a client for life. You start to be able to build relationships. So a lead generation system is being able to have that connection. Then once you have the connection, then you got to give them information that they want. Do you think people want to know that you're number one in your market? But why did realtors use that slogan for 25 years?
$1 million producer.
Who cares, right? Who cares about that anymore? Nobody, because first of all, do you think they believe the number?
No.
They don't. If you say, I sold $2 billion worth of homes in a week, and maybe you did, they still don't believe it. So the number is not about you. It's always about them. It's always about them. So the information you provide, I'm going to ask you a question here shortly, and I want to hear your answer. But the information you provide is going to dictate how you resonate with that person. And if the information is about you, let's just, Buzzy was very nice about telling all the stuff that maybe I sold. But if all I did all day was talk to you about, well, let me tell you about the home I sold last week. Let me tell you about the home I sold 2 weeks ago. You guys would go, this guy's an idiot. Right? Now, you're in the business, and you're going to tolerate it. Think of the person who's not. Think of the person who's out there, and granted, they need to know you're successful. But they need to know it in a different manner other than saying, I am really good. They don't want to hear that from you. Right? You have to have presentation, and I call this proposal skills, but I use the word presentation because it's kind of universal. Listing presentations, buyer presentations, that's what people have. If you don't have a method of delivering your story in a professional manner that is a leave behind with the consumer, you're missing the sales boat. Let me give you an example. I'm sure there's a BMW dealership someplace in the area, right? Only because I've seen all these BMWs driving around. But there's a BMW. BMW has figured out, and they had a moniker on their cars. Do you know what the moniker is for BMW? The ultimate driving machine. That's their deal. Right? If you ever got the brochure on the ultimate driving machine, it isn't just about the car. It's the experience of driving the car. It's one of the best automobile brochures in the world. Because if you think about it, how much advertisement does BMW really do on TV compared to Mercedes, compared to GM, Toyota? You don't ever hardly see too many BMW commercials, but their sales exceed their competitors in most cases. The ultimate driving machine is all about the experience. I'm sure BMWs break down, but it's about the experience you're buying, not about the vehicle itself. What is the experience you provide in real estate? Give me one thing you do different that your competitors do not.
Return phone calls.
That would be a good start. Returning phone calls is a good one.
Answer phone.
And that is part of the experience. All right? But what it would be a service beyond just communication that you provide that your competitors do not? Yes?
Sending information about their neighborhood after they bought.
Okay, so you have them on a like some kind of email alert or something that says, hey, here's the average price of the home, here's where your asset's going from January 1st, 2012 to January 1st, 2013, something like that?
It's monthly. It tells them what's on the market, what's sold.
Monthly. Okay, but does it tell them their value of their home, how it's changed each month?
No, that would be really labor intensive.
It would be. But if you had a system to do that, would the consumer want it?
Yes.
Because what do you get from your stock portfolio every month? You get a statement. Good, bad, or indifferent, you're getting it, aren't you? And so if you have AT&T stock, and it's moving around at $60, it goes to $58, and goes this and that, all of a sudden, you're watching it. Okay? But in housing, because of the labor intensive it takes to do a CMA, we don't typically have that system, right? Are you guys hooked up here, this association hooked up to NAR, RPR? Okay. Have any of you used it?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Awesome.
Okay, for those who haven't used it or know what it is, tell why it's awesome. You raise your hands. Tell us why it's a good thing.
Well, it gives you a whole outline of the neighborhood, for one. And two, it gives you a little bit more of a range, I think, on pricing.
Okay? How long does it take you to do a typical NAR, RPR?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, if you had 200 clients in your portfolio, and maybe once a month is overkill, I'll just tell you. But if you had 200 clients in your portfolio and you could provide them evaluation every 6 months by getting permission from them, tell me your name again, Nancy. I'd say, Nancy, tell me, one of the services that I provide you, and I know you're not in the market to buy or sell right now, would be to provide you an updated valuation on a semi-annual basis. Would that work for you?
Yes.
They say yes 100% of the time. Did I just create a system?
Yes.
What did you give me permission to do every 6 months? Now I'm going to database her information. Nancy, if you were going to sell, how many years in the future would it be?
3.
Great. So as we go along, if I provide her evaluation every 6 months for 3 years, do you think I get up to bat for her listing?
Yeah.
I may not get the listing, but am I going to get up to bat? Sure. What's your goal in lead generation? To get in the home. Write that down. Lead generation is about getting in their home. What happens to the trust and confidence between the two of you when you're in their home? Are they going to invite you in if they don't like you? No. Are they going to invite you in if they don't trust you? No. Do you differentiate yourself from every other realtor in your marketplace by getting in their home? So we got to have a system to get in their home, don't we? If that's the goal, if that's really the goal, if you were in 2 homes a day, 2 homes, what would happen to your production this year? Let's assume you work, like most realtors, 10 months a year. I don't say that derogatory because that's about, mentally I may show up at the office 12 months a year, but I'm not mentally there for 10 months a year. Is that fair? Because some days we just don't have it. Yesterday in Denver, we had 8 inches of snow. Do you think there was people out showing homes yesterday? No, that wasn't happening. Do you have weather that comes in that just kind of shuts you down for a while? Wind, rain, sun. There's things that shut you down. All the sun's out. We can't work today. Right? So 10 months a year. So 10 months a year, that's 300 days. Let's assume you work 20 days a month. That's 200 working days a year. Getting into 2 homes every day. That's 400 people. What's the percentage of your market that sells? Do you know? I know, because I looked it up on your stuff. 4% of your marketplace moves. 4% of your marketplace moves. Now, I don't know the area that well, but whatever Flagler is in West Volusia and Volusia and Daytona Beach and all these little things in between, all the way down to New Smyrna. And the only reason I know is New Smyrna because that's where I'm staying. So I just picked that. 4% of your market moves. So you got 400 people you get into their homes every year. 4% of them are going to move. How many people is that? Seems like 16 to me, doesn't it? Are you good enough to get 100% of all the business you touch? No. How good are you?
Hopefully better than 16.
So if you could list 75% or buy, whatever they're going to do, right? List or buy, 75%. Most people have a purchase with the sale, correct? So if you could get 12 of those, and let's assume they sell something and buy something, that's 24 sides of business. Is that a system? Okay, now 24 may not be enough numbers for you, but that seems like a logical system, right? If my goal every day, I wake up every day, I say, I just got to get into 2 homes today. How do I do it? I'm going to show you how to do it. So we're going to have a solution. I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay? So your mission is to create value. Your mission is to create value. So here's the question I'm going to ask you. So how's your market in Daytona Beach or Ormond or wherever it is that you work? How's the market?
Great. Better.
Great. Exploding.
4% on the entire market is pretty good. Is it? But you have about what? About 800,000 people in the population, right? Yeah, no, maybe not even that. 600,000 people in the population, right? Somewhere in there. Okay, so you had about 24,000 sales total in the entire market area. Seems pretty good to me. 24,000 sales. How many do you need? 20? 30? Something like that? Okay. So, how's the market?
Great. Never been better.
So, how do I, as the consumer, asking that question, respond to all of these answers you just gave me? Correct. How can I ever be engaged by you if you keep it at... Is this the most asked question in real estate?
Yes.
How many times a week do you get asked this question? Once a day?
Right.
Would that be fair? Once a day you get asked this question?
At least.
And your answer is great. So if we go back to the 200 days of a year that you work, you're getting asked this question 200 times a year. And you're still answering it great. Do you list 200 properties a year? Do you have 200 buyers a year? Do you have 100? Do you have 50? Do you have 10? My point to you is that you're getting asked the most asked question in the world. Now, if I were in the Mary Kay cosmetic business, and you said, Jack, how's the Mary Kay business? I would say, it is fabulous. In fact, I have this hair stuff that will really help you. What did I just try to do?
Convert.
Get my product to him. What's your product of you? What is it? You're the product. And what do you deliver?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, information, trends, something they can't pick up on the internet, right? Because they can find the average price of a home in Volusia County. They don't need you to tell them the average price of a home. They need to know trends. That's why I asked you, what's your inventory over the last year? What is it? How much is it?
3,400.
What's the percent of reduction in inventory in 1 year?
36%.
30 in your market, or you?
That's what
the
the
top.
data from December 11 to December 12.
Okay, 36%. So, my point to you is this, and I brought this, I'm going to leave this with Bill and Buzzy, but this is what I provide my agents at the beginning of the year, and then once a month we update the numbers for trends. I didn't bring enough for everybody, but I brought some for them. So you ask me, you go, Jack, and here's your lead generation system. This is the system that you've never bought a book, tape, or heard about ever, and it will increase your production by 30% this year if you do it. Are you game?
Yes.
It won't cost you a penny. How good is that? I mean, how good is that? I had a few beers at the racetrack yesterday. That's what it cost this company. Well,
Give him more.
$20. It cost them $20. And I didn't even know who Cart 20 was. I said, I think I like the color of that one. And he's got, how'd that Jeff Gordon guy do? How did he do? Oh yeah, he didn't do so well.
Yeah.
He's wearing Jeff Gordon hats. He's got the shirt. I'm going, who the hell is Jeff Gordon? So, you say to me, Jack, how's the market? I'd say it's one of the most exciting and challenging markets. And frankly, the inventory's just dropped in Denver. It's dropped 38% in 1 year. Sound kind of familiar?
Yeah.
Because markets across the board have pretty much been about the same. Okay? I'd say one of the things that I provide my clients is a full recap on a regular basis. Would you like me to send that to you? How many people say yes to that question?
Everybody.
Everybody. What's my goal in the lead generation? Remember the goal?
Get the appointment. Get
No.
the door.
Get in the home.
Get in the door.
Get in the home. So I'd say, Tell me your name again now. Sue. I say, Sue, I know you're not in the market right now, but one of the services I provide for free to my clients is how you can improve the value of your home 3 to 5% over neighbors in your area. It takes me about 10 minutes to walk through your home and just tell you what buyers are willing to pay the most for. And I'll be in your neighborhood next week. Is there a better time I can come in? We can just walk through and you can start a plan to improve the value of that home. What time works for you? 4 o'clock what day? Perfect. What did I just get? An appointment off of, what was the question? How's the market? What did I give him?
Information.
Information. What did I convert it to? Get inside the house. This is revolutionary. I've been teaching agents in my companies this for 25 years. The average production of the agent in my companies in Denver has almost doubled or tripled the market average every year for 25 years by getting them in a home. Do you think they're any smarter than you? No.
They live in Denver.
Denver market's no different. I just showed you exactly. Our inventory went down the same as your inventory. Our prices went up 8%. Bill, what was your price increase last year?
8.9.
0.9.
Same market, just the price may be different or the product may be different because we have houses with snow. But by all means, you have sand. Okay? Moving the product is not any different in your market in Florida than it is anywhere in the United States. Are there different challenges because of jobs? And most certainly. But by all means, the theory of lead generation works 100% of the time in every market in America. But what does it require you to do?
Know your market.
You gotta know your market. What does it require you to do to get asked the question?
Yeah,
Get out.
Yeah, you gotta be out there. It's called work. That's what it's called. So you gotta get yourself in front of enough people so someone asks you, how's the market? So that you can get into how many homes a day? 2. That's your goal. Now, is that a simple system? Okay. Could you come up with this data yourself from your MLS system?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just make it look pretty. But frankly, the graphs that I write are from an Excel spreadsheet. Just take the, if you know how to do Excel, you just plop it in there. Who's the graphic person here? Yeah, there you go. You know how to do that, right? Yeah, you know how to do that. So there's no, what I'm just showing, she's going, this is amateuristic. Look at this. Okay? But overall Denver housing market at glass. Single family, condo, income property, land. Do you have any different kind of product here? Single family, condo, income property, land. Do you have different product?
Condo tells, business opportunities.
Okay, add a category.
Yeah.
Can you track it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's basically what it says. It says, oh, the number of condo homes closed has increased from 2005, blah, 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 right? You think people like to hear that?
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah.
Do you think I can get in people's homes?
Yeah.
Are you willing to try it?
Yeah.
What does it cost you? Nothing. It didn't cost you anything. So next time someone asks you how's the market, I am going to challenge you to change your answer.
Great.
Sue, this is a laser. You're going to change your answer to get away from the one word answer of stopping the conversation to a trend. And you have to do it in 15 seconds. So the answer that I give, Jack, how's the market? It's exciting and challenging. In fact, inventory's dropped 38% in 1 year. Would you like to get a copy of my report? 15 seconds, you got their attention. When they say, yes, I've got your report, could I show you how to improve the value of your home 3 to 5%? And I know you're not in the market to buy or sell. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember, they want you away from them. You want to get close to them. I think most families have a pact against realtors. The pact is, now, honey, we don't want to sign anything or commit to anything. That's like their pact. Realtor. All right, so people pay for two things. Fix their pain, or they feel good about it. Has real estate really been a feel-good maybe the last 12 months it has. But before that, did real estate feel good when people were short selling? Or foreclosing? No. No. I mean, it didn't feel good. So what did you have to fix? You had to fix the problem. You had to fix the problem. We're kind of coming out of that. We're getting people now to take advantage of what I would say relatively low prices. How many of you moved from someplace else in the world to here? So where you moved from, is the price of homes more expensive than here?
No.
Some maybe, some may not, right? But I can absolutely tell you, I was floored by some of your median prices. Between $90,000 and $143,000, that's your median price in these different sub-markets. $90,000 in Denver, Colorado would get you a 600 square foot condo, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, no garage. That's it.
Yep.
And there's no beach. This is like in the heart of probably the lowest income area in Denver. What a deal. What a deal. Until I did the research, I can't wait to start sending people your way because I hope to be able to visit them. Because you have deals. What do buyers want? Deals. So why don't you build the dream? You got the dream, build the dream. All right? So fix the problem, that's it. So here's a couple of questions. Ask, not tell. Ask them questions. If you've not read this book, Power Questions, it's a fabulous book. There's 337 questions in this book. Some of them are somewhat repetitive. But I would tell you that you start to think about asking more questions. And it's not just about real estate. I don't get anything from the book, so it's called Power Questions by Andrew Sobel, S-O-B-E-L. You can buy it on Amazon.com for $22, or you can probably get it at Barnes & Noble at a little cheaper, but asking good questions. Pull, not push. Probe, not pitch. Consult, not present. Solve, not sell. Serve, not sell. Take that word selling out of your lead generation system. Okay? So you want to position yourself as the protracted, trusted advisor, proactive, I should say, trusted advisor, and the only way you can do that is to be the expert in your field. I mean, you have to know more than your competition. You don't have to sell more. I'm sure there's people out there who sell a lot of real estate. I don't really care what they sell. I care about what you know. So how do you prove you know more? Well, getting a monthly, what's your name, ma'am?
Vicki?
Vicky?
Vicki.
Vicky? You're doing it monthly in your marketplace for sub-areas? How many subdivisions are you doing?
22, unfortunately.
No, that's pretty good. I think that's fortunate. You actually have a grasp of 22 subdivisions that you know probably better than the average agent, right?
By looking at the reports, because I have to do them, it kind of forces you.
Correct. So you're smarter than the average agent. What do you think the message is to those 22 subdivisions? Because my suspicion is someone from subdivision number 1 moves over to subdivision number 5, or would like to. Are they all the same price, or are they different prices?
Different prices.
So people move up from one to another?
Again, I haven't had it happen yet, but I started doing this about 4 months ago,
Yeah.
and so I haven't seen that happen yet.
But you know the number.
I have had people come back to me and say, I'm thinking about selling my house now, so that's
Perfect.
a good thing.
So you're getting leads.
Yes, I am.
Because you know more than who?
The average.
Someone who
The
doesn't-
average realtor. You gotta know more. You gotta know more. So you gotta work this. So people will refer you if they know you, like you, trust you, and have commonalities of thoughts. That's the basic premise of why people refer your name. So when you're in somebody's home, you're not necessarily looking for them to sell. You're looking for them to say, I'm so impressed with your knowledge that my neighbor down the street's thinking of selling, or my neighbor down the street's thinking of buying. That's what the 2 contacts a day in the house get you. Now, if you got one really good lead a week that closed out of the 10 you visited, would that be worth your time?
Yes.
One a week? If you sold 52 homes this year, would that make you happy?
Yes.
I think it
Make
would.
all of us happy.
I think it would, right? So let's look at it. Frequency of sharing common thoughts. This is the topic you have to think about this, commonalities of thought. People will do business with people that they thinks the same. Okay? It is human nature. If I think you think so different from me, I'm gonna kind of shy away. So that's why the selling techniques have changed dramatically. Okay? So the best commonality, valuable information, customized to the person. So let's say you have school-age children, say from 3rd, 4th grade up to high school, as an example. Let's say you have that. What's the commonalities with a whole bunch of people? Because you're going to the sports field, you're going to the parent-teacher meetings, you're doing the, school charity stuff, right? I mean, yeah, is that a commonality? Is it customized to the person? So let's say you're in those subdivisions, and let's say you have those kids, and let's say you do that, and do you think schools need money for their programs?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So let's assume we're all in the same school district, and I say, if you refer me anybody, 10% of my commission proceeds are going to go to that school for the sports program, or whatever, or the arts, or whatever you choose to do. Will that make an impact on the community? Do you think people like the thought that you are going to do something with just your dollars other than put it in your pocket? Even though I know the dollars are so skinny, I know they are, we don't make near as much money as people think we make. Okay? So that's customized to a person for an area. That's just an idea, but what is it that you do? I think you have to have a combination of art and science, because nobody knows these numbers better than me in Denver. I can guarantee you they think I'm the stat guy. But if all I did was numbers and didn't have an art with it, I would be treated as a number. So when I say a lead generation system has a combination of art and science, it's all about being able to show, I not only know the numbers, I know how to creatively make these numbers work for you. So here's an example that I'm going to give you to prove that there's an art to every statistic that comes with it. How many of you here, I've never seen any of your homes, have I? I don't think so. I'll give you $1 million today for your home. Who's selling? Okay, now is verbal contracts in the state workable if I have a witness?
today.
If I have a witness, is verbal contracts, they're not. You have to have them in writing?
They say they are, but
But if I have a witness,
My husband
Yeah.
thinks they are, he's a real estate attorney.
yeah, I think they probably are if I have a witness. So, Bill, just be my witness, would you? So hold your hand up. Who'll sell for $1 million? $1 million. You're going once, $1 million, right? $1 million. Perfect. The terms are $1 a year for the rest of my life. Thank you very much. Is it an art or a science? So when someone talks to you about how's the market, you can, if you know that they live in a $300,000 type home, let's say, right? Is it an art to be able to tell a story about some price range that's so far-fetched? Pick $2 million, doesn't really matter. But is it an art to describe that when people focus on price, your job is to have them focus on terms? All right. Is a short sale a term? Did it sell homes? Sure. Sure, it did. So how many people in your market refinanced in the last year at 3.5 to 3 3/4%? What percentage of the homes do you think refinanced? Do you know? I bet you it's close to 25 to 27%. Without even knowing your market, I bet you 25 to 27% of the homeowners refinanced at 3.5 to 3 3/4%. Maybe drop their house payment $50 to $150 a month. What did they just get in their house payment as an increase to them? They got cash. And where do you think they go spend the cash? On fixing up their home or going to dinner? How full are your restaurants here?
Pretty full.
But the economy isn't any better. What's happened is there's an accessibility of money, right? That's called art. Now I'm describing to you the process of real estate, but it's an art, isn't it? When you start to have these trends of people saying, have you ever noticed restaurants are full? Let me tell you why they are. About a third of my neighborhood refinanced at 3.5%. They're not moving. They just got like an increase in pay by reducing their house payment. Have you decided to maybe refinance? Perfect. Did you get a good rate?
At the time, that was a great rate.
All right. Would you like to know how to amortize that rate if you took a 30-year mortgage? Because if I could show you how to reduce that 30-year mortgage to 13 years, 2 months, that would save you, well, probably equal to the price of your home in interest. Would you like to know how to do that and still have the flexibility of a 30-year fixed rate?
Sure.
Is that art or science?
Art.
It's art. Did I just capture her attention? Did I capture your attention too, didn't I? See, you'd hire me. And you're in real estate. But you'd hire me. So is it an art or science? I didn't just say the numbers are good, right? I affected you emotionally by my story. What's your story? Now, just so you know the answer, because I like people to leave with answers. How do you take a 30-year fixed rate down to a 13-year, 2-month term? How do you do it?
Make extra payments on the principal.
Exactly. And so if you match the principal payment month 1 all the way to month 13.2, you've actually reduced month 360 down to that number. Now, nobody makes 100% of the payments, so it stretches it out. But just think about, you're trading on a $150,000 loan at 4%, you're trading 80% of a principal payment
Yep.
on 360
Yep.
to like a 2% in month 1. It's the greatest. If you wanted a 100% return on your money, you just prepay the interest on your amortized loan. That's an art, isn't it? Isn't that dialogue an art? If I could show you how to do that? So, think about that. All right? Electronic methods. This is how we get listings now. And I'm going to move into the second level of what we do. We use a social media coordinator. You don't necessarily have to do that. How many of you are on Facebook? You doing that deal? Facebook is a push of information, not a pull of information. Here's what I mean. If you're on Facebook and you say, here's my new listing, okay, that's push. That's push. No, that's like, here I am. I'm the new listing agent. There's agents in my marketplace that I'm watching in their Facebook. Mondays must be their price reduction days. Because on Facebook it says, price reduced, price reduced, price reduced. I'm thinking, he hadn't sold anything in a week. He got a lot of price reductions. So if I'm competing with that agent, here's the art. Hey, did you happen to see Scott's Facebook pages of all those price reductions? That's an art. Okay? So you know, if I'm competing with that person, great. PR person, I have this person, but one of the things that's worked well for me, and if you want to go to my YouTube page, I have a property video of the week. It's the Denver 100 page on YouTube. And there's probably 100 amateuristic videos on there. And they're no more than a couple minutes in length. The one that's going on right now is I listed 8 lots last week in a place called Colorado Golf Club. That they were luxury lots that sold for $500,000 to $750,000 in 06, 07. Today they're worth $100,000 to $200,000. So my pitch on this YouTube video is I have 6 lots on auction, sealed bid auction, $100,000 starting price. I hope you can come out to Colorado Golf Club. I'll be there March 3rd, March 10th, between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Hope to see you there. Have a full packet for you. What do I want to get people to do?
Show up.
Just show up. Does it sound like a deal?
Yeah.
Because the people do know the starting prices there. It's a gated community, you know, it's hard to get in. So you have to do these things, but the sellers love these things. Where do you think the sellers will post their YouTube video of you for them? Where do you think they'll put it?
Their Facebook.
They'll share it. They'll share it. Now you're getting them to help you. You're pulling people in versus pushing information out. See the difference? All right. We do have our own charitable foundation. I suspect you have stuff in your community. You need to make sure people know that this is part of your deal. Either if you give to a cancer program, or you did Children's Hospital, or whatever it is that you do, get the logo from that organization on your materials. Just, you know, and I don't care if you give $10. They'll give you the logo, because why? Helps them push their name out to other people. Make sure you have some marketing materials that are standardized in nature. Make sure that you look better than your competition. So building these clients for life. How much time do I have here?
You got another 40 minutes?
40 minutes. Okay. Because I just want to make sure I'm not taking too much time.
You are not taking too much time.
No.
No one's on schedule.
Look at the back of Bill's pants when he gets up here. So, first of all, building these clients for life. This is buyer stuff. Daily gratitude messages, mental preparations. First thing you do in the morning, if you start checking your email first thing in the morning, you're missing the boat. Because email is a control factor for you. If all you're doing is checking your email, and we all got our phones, you know, they call them smartphones for a reason, because the people who use them are dummies. But we have to have them. If we don't have them, we're not competitive in the world. I'll never forget the time in 1983, I was selling about 100 homes a year, and I bought the first Chrysler E-car that came out that talked. I thought, I gotta have this car. Literally. And if you can picture a Chrysler in 1980, it was 2 zip codes long. And so I'm driving down Interstate 25, which is the main highway north-south in Denver. And I'm driving this car that talks. You know, it says your door's ajar and your stuff. And I keep opening the door just to help so my passengers would hear it. Here comes this guy next to me with one of the old big brick phones with the wire that went into the dashboard to the power pack in the trunk. Okay? Some of you are too young to remember that. But that's what happened. So I said to the passenger to me, I'm showing him homes, how pretentious is that? You'll never see me getting one of those things, and I'm driving a car that talks. Does the competition force you to change the tools you use?
Yes.
Yeah, they most certainly do. So when you let email control you, you're forgetting the most important part of getting clients for life, which are these 2 things, gratitude and mental preparation. Just take 30 seconds of your day, at the beginning of the day, what are you grateful for? And you're going to start your day a lot better, I can guarantee you. You're going to have that thought throughout the day versus the email that just bitched about why the home isn't sold. Which one do you want to start with? Which picture sounds better? Right. Okay? 2 notes every day. How many homes do you get in every day?
2.
2. How many notes do you got to write? 2. Funny how that word 2 works. So who are you going to write notes to? Who?
2 people you got into.
Thank you very much. There's an easy one. But let's say I screw up and I don't get into 2, but I need 2 notes. I got into 1 home, so that's 1 note. Who do I write another note to?
Some old buyer.
Some old buyer like me, old person?
Previous.
I'm offended by that. So, what would you say?
I would say, thinking about you today and hoping you're happy in your home, or
And how excited are they going to be to open up that handwritten little note card? Okay. Frankly, Brian Buffini made $50 million selling you guys cards. His system is no more than write a couple notes a day. And if you've ever been to, Brian's a wonderful communicator, and he's developed a tremendous cult. Okay? So, I just want you to know that. And you just have to look at this. Okay? Who's a master trainer? You're all looking back. Who's the master trainer for Buffini? Somebody is here, right? Okay. So, but it's a proven system of what? Communication. Exactly. He's the smartest guy in the world when it comes to teaching you how to do it. Well, 2 notes. Is it a new idea? No. He's just smart enough to give you the note cards. Here they are. You got to go figure your own note cards in my system. But does it work? 2 notes. Focus on your current pipeline. What is this? What is this thing? Who are these people? Current pipeline. What is the pipeline? That's the people who have listings. That's the people who have written contracts. They have yet to close. Okay? They have yet to close. There are active listings. There's listings under contract. There are buyers looking for homes. There's buyers under contract. That's your active current pipeline. Okay? Why would you send these people notes?
Keep them informed.
That may be one. How many of you go by your listings about every 14 days if they haven't sold? What do you do? Do you go check on your listing every now and then?
Make sure my sign hasn't fallen down.
Yeah.
Make sure your sign hasn't fallen down. Well, that's all about you. Glad to see you've learned something today. I've only been here an hour. Okay? So, you walk through the home, what kind of note could you drop to your current pipeline?
Clean it up. Sorry.
Probably not the note people are really looking for.
Make sure,
No.
if they don't live there, you write the note and telling them I went by the house today and it all looked fine.
It looked great. You know what?
Or
Your
I
home
saw
looked...
something wrong.
I'm really proud to represent you. Your home looked great. Thank you so much. Just drop by your home. So what the message say? Went by their home. What did you do? Compliment them about what? Their home. Okay? Think about the logical things about it. Stay current with lead generation. Communicating with your target group. That's some of the stuff we talked about. And improving the value of your home ideas. Events, workshops, social parties. Now this is how you increase your client for life. In fact, on Tuesday this week, we ran our seminar, which I do every February, Improving the Value of Your Home 3 to 5%. Does that sound familiar to the dialogue I used here? So guess what our brokers got to do in the whole month of January, inviting people to? Yeah, we had 47 people show up at 6 o'clock at night to listen to 7 tips on how to improve the value of your home.
Wow.
47. Now, how many people do you think my agents had to talk to get 47 there? Hundreds.
470.
Hundreds, yeah. But was the value of the people showing up equal to the value of contacting them?
Yes.
Sure. Because we got into, here's what the people who couldn't make it. Sorry we can't make it, but can we come out to your home to share with you the 7 secrets? Do you think I just made it easy for them to get into how many homes a day?
2.
2. Do you think I just made it easy for them to send how many notes? 2. Okay? Pretty good. That works. Okay, so workshop seminars. Here's some stuff that I've done that work. In a previous life, I played professional racquetball and I was ranked 15th in the world. And so I was so sick of real estate. Anybody get sick of real estate every now and then? I was so sick of real estate after about 4 years of being in real estate. I went back to the athletic club that I used to work at and said, I'll give you a free racquetball clinic if you let me teach it and ask for lessons. I was selling 100 homes a year by knocking on doors. 220 to 250 doors a day. You want to buy or sell? 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 I got so good. I mean, there was a lot. I just did it because I didn't know anything else to do. I just got to get in front of enough people. Didn't have any systems. Didn't have any lead generation. Just figured I'd outwork the market. I was so tired after 4 years of want to buy or sell? 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 I was so good at it, I could say it even faster. With an A-type personality, you can imagine how fast I could talk. It was just going. So, get back to the athletic club, and now I'm really not this smart. I pulled the first t-shirt off the pile, And the first t-shirt had Crown Realtors, Better Homes and Gardens. That was the company that I worked for. Pulled it off the pile, put it on. I taught them how to hit backhands, forehands, showed a few, court moves. Took about 30 minutes, and I do what every speaker in the world does, including Brian Fink. If you buy today 3 lessons, I'll give you the 4th for free. Every speaker gives you the 25% deal, don't they? Every time. So the people line up. I'm thinking I'm back in the racquetball business. Yahoo! First person comes up, says, I don't really want lessons, but I notice you're with Crown and I see your signs everywhere. Any chance you can just list my condo? My average price in 1983 was $32,000. I was kind of disappointed the person who even asked me that question. But I humbly said, sure, I'll do it, no problem. Got a couple lessons. The 4th person was a lady in a business suit. She sat through the whole clinic, and I'm thinking, this is weird. She comes up to me, she goes, I'm not interested in taking any lessons, but I was so impressed with you. Would you come list my home? And I said, well, where do you live? She said, 14 Cherry Hills Lane. Now, when the numbers have 2 digits, I can almost guarantee you they're going to be expensive. Just learn that in real estate. When you hear 1 digit or 2 digit, you're going, this home at 1983 was $690,000 listed by a competitor. What was my average price? 32. $690. And I'm wearing shorts, and I'm thinking, how cool is this? I'll be out there tomorrow. Okay? And I figured out quickly, if I can get in front of people in social functions, workshops, giveaways, and all this stuff, in an environment they trusted me, they were going to do business with me. And that year, I did a racquetball clinic in every little podunk court in Denver, Colorado, and sold 113 homes and wore shorts about half the time, which I thought was pretty neat. What are the hobbies? What are the things you like to do? What is it that you do that you can run an event once a quarter? I wouldn't bite off more than you can chew, but what can you do to get in front of your clients in an arena that you look like you enjoy, like golf, or could be maybe it's cooking. Do they have these little places here that you pre-make dinners, you kind of have parties where you go have wine and party? Yeah.
Went out of business.
Went out of business. Well, that's because people don't eat here, right? Kind of a passé thing, I would guess. But you can have it at your house. I want you to think about, what do you like to do? Because what I do is irrelevant to what you do. Start to think about what you can have. Most of my agents do some kind of workshop or function once a month. So that makes that, it's not the Jack show. It's about them. And you have to make sure that you do it and you're getting in front of your people. So what will they ask you for? Well, how's the market? That starts the ball rolling. If you don't get in front of people, you can't be there. So let's figure out how to list more homes. Here's the most important part of this. Knowledge is pretty important. Choose your words wisely. Thanks for the privilege. This is a word that I've used that works really well. Wisdom to the table. So if you want to change the dynamic of if someone says to you, why should I list with you and Realty Pros versus Remax? Right? Let's say someone says that to you. Well, I bring a wisdom to the table that may not be matched in the marketplace. Now you're going to have to prove it. You're going to have to prove it through art and science. Just remember that. But when you do that, this is a word I have not seen anyone else copy yet. They will at some point. They have not yet copied this. The reward factor in this current market. If your prices went up 8.9% according to Bill, which got his information from the MLS system, the reward factor in this current, do you think they're going to go up this year?
Yes.
What's happening to the inventory?
Down 38%.
But what's going to happen in 2013 to the inventory?
It's going to increase.
Do you think it's going to go up a little bit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you think prices are going to flatten?
I think they're going to steadily climb up.
Rise. Why would prices rise if inventory rises?
better quality listings are coming on the market now.
Okay, so what's happening is that the low price inventory is gone. People are starting to feel the appreciation of their, say, next price range level and are listing it. That's what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay. So if that's the case, if that's what you can trend, the reward factor in this current market is you're buying at low interest rates and you're still liable to see some appreciation this year. If that's the trend, right? So the reward factor in this marketplace is high or low?
Hi.
High. Do you want to buy the stock at 5 cents or 30 cents?
5.
Yeah. Okay. With the market we're given, this is what I use in a luxury market in Denver. With the market we're given, we have a 17-month supply of homes above $1 million in Denver. My average price is $870,000. Okay. What market do you think I'm in? Those that don't sell. So I've got to figure a way. With the market we're given, we have to reposition the property. I have a lot of repositioning talks with sellers. Okay? What to expect? Market hasn't been as generous. These are words that happen when the market's not as good. Make your home the best opportunity. Those are all, use words intelligently versus, we really need a price reduction today. Because when you say we really need a price reduction, what they hear is you are stealing more of my equity. You didn't do your job. You didn't do enough open houses. You didn't do enough ads. You just didn't work hard enough. You want to reduce the price? You didn't work hard. That's what they hear. So you have to have a new set of words. Okay? How many of you have taken the DISC profile? Seen this? So you have to treat people the way they want to be treated. You know, if you've not done this, you can do this online. It costs you $30 or something. But I would highly encourage you to understand who you're talking to. And this is nothing to sneeze about. I'm very serious. So you need to know if you can't be a director if you're talking with someone over here. You have to support their ideas. Skills in sales is all about understanding who you're talking to. Do you talk to your 6-year-old the same way you talk to an adult? No. You're going to have different discussions. Okay? So customizing your services. Remember earlier I asked you, tell me about the service that makes you unique. Let me give you a few. First of all, they have to be idiosyncratic, which means that they reflect your personality about who you are. You know, the unique, attractive, congruent with the market, and there's a primary identifier of what you deal with providing services. Okay? So, people, did you see that? I gotta show you that again. This is how good I am. Watch this. People have to move toward you. Okay? Just for the graphic person. It's called a transition, and you know. So, if people are, you know, seeing value in you, they'll come to you, and that's really what you want to try to gain through unique level of service. So let me ask you, how many of you provide a cleaning service for buyers and sellers? Couple. How many of you provide a handyman service for sellers? Couple. How many of you provide stagers? Couple? Couple? Okay. How many of you provide I don't know if measuring is that big a deal. It's a big a deal in Denver, but how many of you provide measuring service? Okay. How many provide free home warranties? Couple? Now, let's say you have a list of all of these things, you know, that cost money. And you're going, my average income on $100,000 is going to be $2,000, and I don't want to spend $2,000 on services. How do I do it? All right? Because I know how you're thinking. Believe me, I have a bunch of you at home. Okay? So I can tell you, how do you move customers toward you? You provide some unique level of service. One of the best services I can provide is this cleaning service. I provide a cleaning service.
That's nice.
And I can tell you, people go over nut. Who raise their hand on the cleaning service? Give us some examples of how it works for you.
Especially if somebody's buying a house out of town, it's important to me to move into a clean house. I
Right.
figure it's important to everybody.
Sure.
So I'll send somebody over and have the house clean.
Okay?
We've had situations where people have moved out, the house was clean when they left, but the movers messed it up.
Yeah.
So, you know, then we sent in the cleaning person, and later, That also developed a closer relationship with the buyer, because the buyer didn't expect it either. They just
The
came.
buyer did not expect it. So, I'm telling you, the number one service that I used in 2012 was cleaning service. Right? The company in Denver was called Decent Help. They're not a franchise company. It's not like Mary Maids or one of those things. But I made sure they were bonded. Made sure that, and they'd bring a crew of 4 or 5, depending on the size of the home. Crank it out in about an hour and a half. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like a system. So here, I want you to hear this dialogue. Let's say I'm representing the buyer. And I'd say to the listing agent, hi, this is Jack over at the Denver 100. Hey, part of the services I provide the buyers to have a cleaning crew. We're going to be closing on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Any chance I can have them in there at 1:05? Because I don't want anything prior to the closing occurring. Right? Right? So the listing agent's going, and this is about 2 weeks before the setup time of the closing. Well, let me check with the seller. I'm sure the seller will be thrilled that I'll be cleaning his house for him. 100% of the time they go, the seller loves that idea. You have access at 1:05 or whatever the time is. What does the seller think about me?
I'm using you the next time.
Almost always. In fact, when I get to the closing, I have a little certificate from Decent Help that says I've paid, which proves that I've paid for it, just so that everybody doesn't think that there's any, it's a $350 cost on my deal, but mine's a little more expensive, so you would figure out a cost that fit your budget. But I have a certificate that I lay in the middle of the table that I say to the seller, I'm going to give this certificate to the buyer, it's already paid for, is that okay with you? Sellers go crazy, they go, oh, thank you very much. They're looking at me now, and their agent is like off in La La Land. Okay? Moving people towards you. I'm just going to move through that one. So, first of all, rule number 1 when listening, work with motivated people. If people are not motivated, you're going to be stuck with rule number 2. You want to sell a home, or you want to learn a lesson. Okay? The marketing plans we have to be here. These are the 10 skills that, and you have them in your outline, you need to be able to list. Proposals versus presentations. You need to be able to start to collaborate, not tell. I think when you say to someone, can I come over and give you a listing presentation? The consumer has antibodies against it. They just don't want to hear that. All right? We talked about that. Checklists. If you have checklists in and out, those are all good things for systems. You can give these to sellers. For years, realtors kept their checklists secret. Why? Why would you do that? Why don't you tell them everything you do? What are the average number of phone calls that you do from the day the home goes under contract to the day of closing? How many, on average, how many phone calls do you think you make?
25.
64. National Association of Realtors statistic. If you called your attorney 64 times in a 6-week period, what would your attorney bill be? Well, if we don't give them the checklist, we can't ever say that. Right? So we want to have the checklist in place. We don't need that. So these are the objections come. 4 common objections. What do you charge? Have no equity. Are a friend of the business and want to talk to another company. If you know what's coming at you, you should be able to answer them. I'm not going to sit here and answer all these objections for you, but I can clearly tell you that if you had these objections faced and you didn't have an answer, you're probably not getting the business. So if you know that's coming, you have to replay in your mind, how do I answer these things? And it's all about integrity. And I'm just going to tell you that. If you say to someone, well, what do you charge? And just for, I'm not price fixing here. If there's any big power to be up there. But if I said, well, I charge 7%. Whoa, the boat rocks. Okay? And they said, well, you're a lot higher than everybody else. Well, you get what you pay for. That is the worst answer you can give. Because it absolutely makes them feel bad because you're a wise mouth. That's not 2013 skill development. So here's a better answer. I charge 7% because that's what I've charged the balance of my clients, and I wouldn't come with any integrity at all if I charged you something different than I charged them. That's a 2013 dialogue. Did it sound truthful?
Yes.
It is the truth. What integrity would I have if I charge you one and you something else? No integrity at all. Am I going to lose some business? Potentially. But I better have some unique value propositions, like the cleaning service, that they can't get someplace else. Okay? All right. We're not going to do that. Absorption rate. I think this is important for you to understand in your marketplace because, yes.
Can I ask a favor? I'm dying to hear on the prior slide when they want to talk to another company.
Sure. Vicki, I really appreciate the fact that you want to talk to another company. And in fact, you may talk to a couple companies. But you're hiring me to capture 100% of the buyer pool, correct? Because in my plan, that's what I talk about, okay? So I say, I'm trying to capture 100% of the buyer pool. You can't get any more than that. So why would it be in your best interest to bring 2 or 3 top realtors into your home and have to tell 2 of them they're not any good or you're going to reject them? How excited will they be to bring their buyers back after you've rejected them when my system already includes them today?
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, that's really good.
Thank you very much. That was 2 tickets to the racetrack.
2 more to go.
Did that answer it? Now, and I will stay out because we have some other things we need to do today. That's why I'm kind of going through it. But I'll stay and answer any amount of objections for lunch. I mean, I'm good for it. Guys, these guys are going, it is crazy. Okay. So let me talk about absorption rates. First of all, if you don't talk in terms of absorption rates in today's world, how many of you use these terms? Okay, some of you do. This is what instead of saying the price is right, and playing Bill Barker, we're going to talk about absorption rates in marketplaces. And sellers relate to this much better than they do if you're just trying to hit the bullseye with a dart on the price. Okay? So, general instructions to determine absorption rate is you take the number of homes sold in a period of time divided by the number of months in that time equals the absorption rate number. So if you had 3,000 homes sold in a year divided by 12, 250 a month. You with me? Okay. So equals monthly absorption rate, number of homes on the market. So if we had 250 homes on the market divided by the monthly absorption rate equals 1 month's supply. That is the formula in sub-markets, Vicki. That's what people want to hear. They don't want to just hear how many homes sold. They want to hear in your neighborhood there's a 4-month supply of homes. So historically, what would we say is the balancing act of month supply? How many months would determine buyer's market, seller's market in the eyes of an economist? Do you know?
4 months.
Is it 4?
5 months balance.
6 to 9.
Okay? You're a little bit aggressive. Yeah, you're a little bit aggressive. In most markets, and it may be in your market, in most markets, 6 months supply is what most economists would consider an equilibrium of number of homes to number of buyers. 6 months. Now, is that a perfect science? No. I would admit it's not a perfect science. Okay? So it may be a little less in your marketplace, and I would give you credit for that if you knew that. But I don't know. But I would say 6 months. So if it's under 6 months, people are thinking it's a buyer's market, or excuse me, a seller's market. If it's above 6 months, it's a buyer's market. Okay? So when I use the term in the luxury market in Denver, there's a 17-month supply. Do you think buyers have choices? Tons of choices. Okay? So, 12 months, this is how we figured it out. That's my example, right? Okay, you have that on your sheet. Odds of selling a home, and this is where you break it down, and this is what your role is to teach sellers how to improve their odds. Okay, home sold in the last 3 months, this amount, divided by number of homes on the market, this amount. Your odds of selling are 58%. How many of you want to jump off the cliff and land in the lake with a 58% chance of hitting the water? Nobody. Why do you think people don't put their home on the market? Because they don't know this number, they just got a feeling it ain't going to sell. So what's your job to do? You gotta get it priced aggressively so these odds of selling increase. So you could break this number up into like 0 to 100, 100 to 200. All of a sudden, you're gonna see these odds go up if you just took that number for the lowest price range. But what if I took the highest price range, the highest 10%? That number may be 15%. So if a seller really needed to sell, their pain was, I'm getting divorced, I need to get out, what do I do? Now they're going to come up with a position of pricing their home better, if they can afford it. Okay? Understand the position of this? We're going to sell in a vacuum. You have this in your charts, of course. So advise your sellers to increase the odds of the home. This is the terms you used in 2013. This is what you say. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we want to increase the odds of your home, of selling. And here's how to do it. I went on a listing appointment, let's see, what's today? Friday. Last Saturday. It's been listed by a competitor in our market that, quote, is the luxury home experts. It's been there for 2 years at $3.5 million. No showings. What do you think the problem is? And I know you guys don't know anything about Denver. What do you think the problem is?
Overpriced.
Probably a little price, do you think?
Nice.
But they were sold on the fact they were going to be in Christie's magazine. Do you think that had anything to do with the buyers caring? No. So I went in there. I said, here's your odds of selling a home in Douglas County, Colorado, above $2 million. His home was listed at $3.5 million. His pain, I figured his pain, he just lost his job and he's getting transferred to San Diego. Does he need to sell? He can't afford the $18,000 a month in house payment. Is there a big pain there? What's his carrying cost per year? $200,000 a year. He's been there for 2 years. So what was the first thing I had to say about his pain? Sounds like you kind of spent $400,000 and didn't get anywhere, did you? And he went, you're exactly right. Because that's what he was thinking. Every month I'm spending 18 grand and I don't have any showings. So I said, there's only been 2 homes sell above $2 million in your neighborhood, by like the entire county. Only 2 homes above $2 million have sold in your area, neighborhood, in the last 12 months. One at $2 million and one at $2,050,000. And you're at $3.5 million. What's your odds of selling? What do you think he said to me? He said, I got to get out. What will be the number to get me out? When they say that, what did you just hear?
Sign here.
So he listed with me at $2.3 million. I just got a $1.2 million price reduction. It goes on the market March 1st. Did that little word change his thinking? It does. Did I say he had to have a price reduction?
No.
Not once. He came up with it. How did he come up with 2.3, do you think?
That's what
Averaged it out. Now, what was it, 2 point?
It's more than 2 that's sold, but that's what he owes. So I told him, when the buyer comes in at $2 million, are you prepared to bring $300,000? Yes. I want out. I need out now. I'm getting divorced. I've lost everything. I'm doing the... Okay, great. Let's go. Why didn't his other agent have this discussion? Because they advertise at Christie's. See how stupid that is? Right? All right. So increasing the odds, evaluate the home, know the pain and pleasure that they're there. Wholesale versus retail, you deal a lot with this in Florida, right? Do you have some wholesale prices today? Are your prices lower today than they were in 2006?
Yes.
By how much? 50%. So you have wholesale prices right in your marketplace. Who are you telling about the wholesale prices? Why do you think Costco and Sam's is such a winner? People think they get a bucket of ketchup this big for $1.40. Okay? Think about it, right? So you have to take houses and make it a big bucket of ketchup. But who are you going to tell?
Everybody.
Who? I didn't hear you.
French fries.
French fries. Well, maybe. So the first thing I'd be figuring out is, Where's the target market that would love to have wholesale pricing with no state income tax? Let's see. New York, California. I mean, why do you think states with no income tax are starting to rebound faster than those that have this high tax? So I would figure out, I mean, if you had a house down here at $150,000, I'll guarantee the taxes on a house in Long Island are $150,000. The house itself may be $600,000. The taxes are $150,000. If they could buy the whole house here, but you get the whole house, not just the tax bill, for $150,000, think of the terminology. Okay? All right. I got to move faster. 20 guaranteed ways. 5 minutes, Bill.
Take your time.
5 minutes.
We're here.
First of all, treat people the way you want to be treated. It's called the platinum rule. In fact, one of the ladies in my company, she goes, I need to improve my business. And I said, well, we're going to call you a team. She goes, well, I don't have any team members. I said, I don't care. We're going to call you the platinum team. Swear to God, she went from 22 sales to 57 units sold in 1 year. And granted, the marketplace improved. But I said, what do you think caused you to have that increase? She goes, I felt better about calling myself the platinum team. Now, unfortunately, only one of you can use it. You got to figure it out, okay? But treat people the way they want to be treated. Think about it. Are you the Ritz-Carlton of real estate, or do you look like everybody else? Think about what you want to do, all right? Sell the experience, not the product. Sell the experience. This is the cleaning crew. How does it make them feel? The stager. I have a stager that kind of comes in, looks like an inspection report. She spends 2 hours with the homeowner walking through the home, get an inspection report back from the stager saying, this is what needs to happen. Here's what the cost if you choose to do it. If you don't choose to do it, Jack says your home will sell at 95% versus 98%. If my average price is $800,000, that's 24 grand. If the improvements cost 12 grand, what do you think they do 100% of the time? They stage it. They get the walls painted the way I want them to get painted. They change the carpet. They do what I tell them to do. Who's in control of that sale process? Me, at a price range that's not moving. Sell the experience and they'll do it. Implement systems. I can tell you this is the #1 thing I see when I coach agents around the United States. The really top people have systems. They have systems. Now, I don't mean to make fun of anyone else's systems. I have a lot of respect for Brian Buffini. He and I have spoke together. We've done things, but I can tell you, he is a system. He has taught you a system. Okay? Craig Proctor, system. System. That's all it is. Okay? So don't get hung up on, we make, kind of jokes about people, but by all means, it's a system. All I'm telling you is I have a system. What's the system? How many people a day to get in the house? 2. How many notes a day? 2. That's the system. Can you do that?
Yep.
Are you physically able to kind of do that?
Yes.
What's it called?
Work.
Work. All right. Expand your master scripts and dialogues. Focus on the children. I have books for kids. When you list a property, I have a contract for kids. In other words, a listing contract. And the listing contract for kids, it's written like in crayon. And it basically says, you agree to keep your room clean. And it has a picture of Mickey Mouse, and it has, it's cute, it's nice, but focus on children. So when I give the listing agreement to the kids first, before I even hand out my form to the adults, do you think I got the listing if the kid starts filling it in?
Yeah.
100% of the time, okay? If you were the CEO, I invite for improvement of people, so this is a word that is, if you were the CEO of my business, what would you change? Okay? And that can be harsh. You ask the people what they think, you gotta be comfortable where they are. Keep them informed, no surprises, here's what's happening, here's where we're going. Add value during the buying process. Just add these things and you get permission to do things. Create an arrival bucket for buyers. They're moving into a home. I can guarantee you this still works. This is an idea forever. It can be, and I don't bring food because it's messy, but light bulbs, toilet paper, a hammer.
Cleaning wipes.
Okay, if that's what you like. But think about it. It may cost you $5, maybe 10 bucks. But I come up in a suit, which means I can't do what?
Help.
Not moving. So really, I time it with the cleaning crew. This is what I do. The cleaning crew, if they start at 1:05, they're going to be finished about 3. I say, I'm going over to the house at 3 o'clock. I want you to meet me there, even though I know you're kind of getting ready to move. Can you meet? Let's just go right from the closing over there. Why do I want to do that? I want them to see the cleaning crew. I want them to feel the experience. Get over there, they're going, wow, this is awesome. Now maybe only one of the spouses can come, maybe they both can't come because they have kids or whatever the case may be. But understand, I bring the arrival bucket with me. I never bring a closing gift at closing, ever. Never bring it, okay? Because I have a 7-day follow-up system after the closing. Say, we're closing today, can I set an appointment, do a walkthrough in your home 1 week from today? Why do I want to do a walkthrough? What am I going to find in the walkthrough?
Referral.
Hopefully nothing, but do you find that the dishwasher broke or something doesn't work? Wouldn't you rather fix that problem now? That's why I give a home warranty plan. The deductible's $60, unless it's a pre-existing condition that's not in the inspection, I'm going to get it covered. So I can get a furnace covered so long as the heat exchanger's not cracked on a pre-existing condition. So think about that. Housewarming parties, one of the best things that I can do, 20 reasons. In lieu of a closing gift, I'd say, why don't you invite all of your friends 2 weeks from today to your home, I'll supply the food. I never supply alcohol. Just don't do that. I supply the food. And there's a place in Denver called Tony's Meats. That's kind of they have 3 little stores. It's a specialty place. I'm sure you have something like that in your market, other than going to Publix and getting a bunch of cheese. You know, I mean, that may work too, but think about it. If I want to get something fancy, get that. Okay? So think about all these things. I usually drop the food off at 4 o'clock. I greet them. People come, how do you do this? You know how many leads I get from this thing for about a 30-minute visit to their friends? 5 or 6. I'm thinking of selling in about a year. I'd like you to do this for me. And guess what they bring up? The cleaning crew. Okay, Drake, we can do that. We talked about charity programs, give back, survey their input, 30 days into the home, I do 7 in 30 days. Affiliated business partners, don't you have some kind of affiliated business partner over back here? There she is, okay? They love coming to these things, so invite them. Enhanced service division, that's the cleaning crew, the handyman, etc. Add value, each piece that you send out, add value. So instead of posting something like how great you are on Facebook, how about putting a nice inspirational quote from somebody? You'll get more likes, I can guarantee you, you'll get more likes. This is one of the best things that I do every year, and I have 4 insider clubs, depending on kind of the price range they're in. So I invite them, if I have I have 6 people that own properties above $1 million in Denver that I invite to a luncheon at the golf club out in Parker, and so I meet with them. And I'm going to ask them questions about where do they see the market? What services would you expect if you were going to list your home? I ask them things as if they were a board of directors, and I have one for starter price ranges all the way up to luxury. Okay. This is the best thing because people think they're going to get a deal. And here's my deal, Vicki. This is where you come in. I give them a free CMA every 6 months through NARRPR. It takes me 5 minutes. Now, I do have to massage NARRPR. I have to massage it. I can't just give them what it says. But invariably, they get this. They think it's a special deal. How many real estate agents for the last 50 years said, would you like a free market analysis in their marketing? How many have said that?
Yeah.
Everybody. So I didn't call it that. I said, would you like to have a valuation every 6 months to see where your asset's going? That's all I said. And what did they say? Yes. So don't use the word CMA. Take it out. Have a post-closing plan after the fact. Affiliate your client appreciation. Those workshops and stuff. Acknowledge giving referrals 3 times. When you get the referral, when they buy something, and when they close. You don't have to buy them gifts. You just have to acknowledge when you get the referral, when they buy something, when they close. Thank you, and thank you. And how would you do that?
Cards.
In a note. In a note. Take action today. Make your clients raving fans. And then accept the new normal. Now, it's really my honor to speak to your company. You guys are, I'm so jazzed about where you have the opportunity to be going. It was fun to meet Bill and Buzzy at NAR, and Marcia, we met there too. I will tell you, you have a very special group of people who care about wanting you to have a culture and experience that's special. And I get to go to a lot of companies, so it's my privilege to be their friend. And thank you very much for having me today. I'll stay as long as you want, and hopefully you absolutely move forward with where your real estate career is. Thank you very much.